Okay, welcome to this one more lecture in which we are studying different ways of study of homeopathic mathematics. And in this lecture, we will focus mainly on the group study method of study of homeopathic mathematics. In this group study, this is the most recently developed study method of homeopathic mathematics. Most recently, that means in the last few decades, that is in the last 20, 30 or maximum 40 years, this method has been evolved for the study of homeopathic mathematics. Now, up to the methods, whatever we have seen, all those methods were methods of centuries before, 18th century, 19th century, that were the methods belonging to those era, or belonging to those 18th century and 19th century. But this group study method is a recently developed method to study homeopathic mathematics in the last 4 decades. And this method has become very much popular method in the study of homeopathic mathematics. And the popularity is so much of this method, and this method has become a separate branch of the study of homeopathic mathematics. When you go to the second year, third year, and final year, there is a special lectures on this group study methods, and you learn that group study method in detail there. But to cover this group study method in a very few minutes, it is really a challenge. But I will try to complete you. I will try to complete this group study method in 1 or 2 lectures. So this is a very popular method. It is that much popularity it has been accepted, or it has gained, that this has become a separate branch to study homeopathic mathematics. And even nowadays, even few decades, that is in the last 10 years or 15 years, it has become one of the important method of analysis of case. And even there are some stalwarts who are advising that whatever prescription you are making, your case must be analyzed from this angle of group study method. So I will first explain you what is this analysis of case. Now, analysis of case means what? You take the case from the patient. After you take the case, you take a review of what are the symptoms present in that case. And after taking the review of that symptom, you will identify what are the positive factors, what are the modalities, what are the mental general, what are the physical general, and then accordingly further you will form the probability of symptom, and then accordingly you will prescribe. So this is the previous method of previously well accepted method of doing homeopathic prescriptions. But this, along with this method of analysis, some stalwarts has also insisted that whenever you analyze a case according to the causation, according to modality, according to mental general, physical general, you must try to identify that whatever the symptoms are narrated by the patient, the way you have interacted with the patient during case taking, and you must able to fix that this patient who is sitting in front of you belongs to which group of remedies. Now, give an example. There are different groups of remedy. Like there are some remedies from plant kingdom, some remedies from animal kingdom, some remedies belonging to the metal. So after finishing the case, when you start the analysis of case, this method advises us that you must also include that you must able to identify whether this patient who is sitting in front of you, the complaints narrated by the patient belongs to the vegetable kingdom or vegetable kingdom homeopathic mathematics remedies, or this patient belongs to the metal group of remedies, or this patient belongs to the animal group of remedies. And then there are various tricks, various guidelines are narrated by Gestalt or how to identify the such types of groups of remedy. But point is, what I want to highlight is that this method has become a separate method of analysis of case and prescription. It is nowadays, it is not only limited up to the study of homeopathic materia medica, but it has become an important part in the analysis of case and in the prescription. If you listen to some of our modern seminars, they advocate that you must be able to, before you go in the case, you must be able to understand what is this remedy belongs to, and whether it is animal, whether it is a plant, or whether it is a metal. And once you identify this with the help of further interrogation or further analysis, you must be able to go to this is which metal. Is it ferrum? Is it aurum? Or is it platina? Something like that. So this is all about the introduction of this group study method. Remember, it is a very recent one, very popular. It is established as a separate branch of study of materia medica, and it has gone one more step ahead, that it has also become an important part of analysis of case and prescriptions making in the homeopathic practice. Now we'll focus why there was basically the need for this method was built. At this point, we have not so far studied under any of the method of study of materia medica. If you remember, why the necessity of this method was built. Now, if we see the history of evolution of homeopathic materia medica, the evolution of different ways of study of homeopathic materia medica. Initially, the study of materia medica was only limited up to the sphere of action, up to the pathogenesis. I have explained in this term, sphere of action and pathogenesis, in my previous lectures. Refer to those lectures and understand. And this part was mainly related with the initial days where the drugs were crude, in a crude form. Then comes the days of dynamic proving, where we got more and more refined symptoms, and this refined symptoms were guiding us to that specific remedy. And so initially drugs were studied in the crude form, focusing on the sphere of action, focusing on the pathogenesis. Then comes the dynamic proving, giving more and more refined symptoms. And whatever the methods were existing, like anatomical schematic method, keynote method, therapeutic method, comparative method, picture method, all these methods become short, or they have fallen short in understanding the grasping the complete materia medica of a specific drug. All these methods have was good, but they have proved with certain limitations as the dynamic proving has become more and more rampant. Whatever methods were existing, they felt that these methods are good, they are essential, they are giving materia medica, they are helping, but still there was a feeling that all these methods are not giving a complete grasp of the materia medica. One more fact, because of this limitation, the necessity of one more method of study of materia medica was built. Then one more fact was there. That fact was belonging to the drug proving experiment. Now they have found out that certain remedy which belongs to the same class, like a botanical class, chemical group, or biological class, few remedies are well proved. There is a lot of information about that remedy, but few remedies are less proved. For example, I will give example of belonging to biological class. Biological class means it is a related with living animal. So in that biological class, there is a group of remedies which is called as Ophidia group of remedies. So there is a biological classification which classifies the animals into various kingdoms. So this is the one kingdom or this is the one group, that is Ophidia. Now this Ophidia refers to the snake remedies, and whenever they have listed a group of remedies belonging to this snake remedy, they have found that there are certain remedies belonging to this snake remedy. They are very, very well proved. Like snake remedy means everybody remembers this lachesis and lachesis. But there is a less proving about certain remedies like centuries. So centuries is one of the important snake remedy. Then dendropole is one more snake remedy. So they found that out of all this Ophidia group, few remedies are well proved and few remedies are not well proved. There is very limited information available because of lack of proving. Now, how to complete, how to get more and more knowledge about this less proved remedy? They have followed the method of generalization. Now, we have to explain you what is this method of generalization. Take this example of snake. Now, if you observe the various snakes, if you study the various snakes, these snakes are usually, when they appear, they are mostly visible to the people, mostly during the night time. So, accordingly, lachesis, a drug belonging to the snake remedy, has this characteristic feature. All the complaints of lachesis are aggravated in the night, are aggravated after going to sleep. So this is the one well-proved fact, and so they have applied this well-proved fact to lachesis remedy to other remedy, and they have proposed that, see, most of the snakes are visible during the night time. Basically, the snakes, if you study the biological information, snakes usually come out for hunting for, smaller animals, usually at the time of night. And if that night is more felt in the lachesis, they said probably that most of the snake remedies will have aggravation at the night. And then that aggravation of night of lachesis is generalized to most of the snake remedies, and it becomes a common feature of that group belonging to this medicine prepared from snake, aggravation from night. Then lachesis, most of the snakes are revengeful. So they have proposed that lachesis is also a medicine which is having very symptoms like malicious, revengeful, vindictive. Malicious, revengeful, vindictive का मतलब है, these are the persons who tend to take revenge, बदला. Revenge means बदला. जैसे कि हमारे हिंदी पिक्चर में बहुत सारे डायलॉग रहते हैं ना, कि कुत्ते कमीने, मैं तुम्हारा खून पी जाऊंगा, तुमने मेरे पिताजी को मारा है, तो इसका बदला तुमको चुकाना पड़ेगा, मैं तुम्हारा खून पी जाऊंगा, and वगैरह वगैरह. So this is all what indicates what? The revenge. So most of the snakes, and there is also the myth about this snake. Most of you are seeing the various Hindi movies, Bollywood movies, they emphasize on this point. If you hurt the snake, it is very likely that snake will take revenge. And then, considering this biological information or this myth which is there in our society, they have created one more theme or one more common important characteristic symptom of the snake remedies is that most of the snake remedies are malicious. They are vindictive. If you hurt those persons having belonging to that times or after a few years, they will try to take the revenge of that particular insult. So these are all examples of what? Generalization. That means application of one important proven fact to the general population. For example, given in this remedy of snake. So the information was only available for the remedy like I said, but that has been generalized, that has been applied to the whole group. And so this is again one more point of necessity, why the necessity felt of this group study method. But we have seen that the various methods were not giving the complete grasp of materia medica, so there was a need of one more new method. And one more important fact is that there were few remedies belonging to some group information symptoms were lacking, and to apply this process of generalization and to complete the information of this remedy, this method, group study method, has been evolved. Then, yes, this is one more important fact, that when we read certain group of remedies, we find that there is one common link between these remedies. Again, I will emphasize on this snake remedies. Common link in the information about Naja, about centuries, that and about lachesis is that these drugs usually acts on the respiratory system. This was a common thread, and one more common thread of this snake remedies. These remedies acts more on the nervous system, producing symptoms like paralysis, acts on the blood and capillaries, producing certain symptoms of hemorrhages, certain symptoms of bleeding tendencies, and producing certain pathologies with respect to this blood. So this was a common thread of all these drugs belonging to the same group, and the persons who were studying materia medica could not understand why this commonality, why this common thread exists in this particular group of remedy. And then they have studied to link this common thread. They have evolved the method of group study method. This was the one more reason why this group study method was evolved, and one more important reason is that this materia medica, after the proving has started with the help of dynamic drugs, it has become more and more voluminous. It has become more and more cumbersome, difficult to study. It has become more and more confusing. So they thought that this study of materia medica should be simplified. Instead of reading 10 drugs, let us find out the common symptoms. Common symptoms, not in the sense of organ common symptoms. Common symptom means the symptoms which are prominently seen in those 10 remedies. Instead of remaining 10 prominent symptoms of 10 remedies, let us remember only 10 symptoms of a single group of medicines belonging to a single group. I think it has become very much fast. So I will again repeat, the materia medica has become very voluminous. The effort to study materia medica was falling short. The study of materia medica was become laborious. For example, there are 10 remedies belonging to the same class, like 10 snake remedies, or 10 remedies prepared from the venom of snake. And every remedy, every these 10 remedies has, let us for example consider each snake remedy has 10 at least prominent features or prominent guiding symptoms. Then for the study of materia medica of these 10 remedies, what you will have to do? You will have to remember 100 symptoms of those 10 remedies. So if you try to learn these 100 symptoms of 10 remedies, obviously the confusion will be very much, and the individualization will become very difficult. So they require a simple method of study of homeopathic materia medica, and they have evolved this method. Instead of remembering 100 symptoms of 10 remedies, why not to remember only the 10 symptoms which are common to the 10 remedies of same class. And this is how they have evolved the group study method to simplify the study of homeopathic materia medica. I hope these 4 points are clear. One is these 4 points. Remember, these 4 points emphasize why there was a need of one more method of study of materia medica. Then, who were the pioneers in this study method? Now, there are a lot of controversies about this pioneering work in the group study methods. If we screen the history, if we screen the evolution of homeopathic materia medica, earlier the authors like John Henry Clark, who is the author of which materia medica, who is the author of Anatomical Schematic Materia Medica, a dictionary of practical homeopathic materia medica, written in 3 volumes. The same author, J.H. Clark, has later on prepared one repertory. The repertory written by the author was Clinical Repertory by J.H. Clark, and in that book he has initiated this method of study of homeopathic materia medica. Some authors gives emphasis, gives credit to J.H. Clark, but some authors give emphasis to James Tyler Kent. Now, James Tyler Kent, why he has to remember? Because he has written the beautiful picture type of materia medica, like lectures on the homeopathic materia medica. And there is one more book by James Tyler Kent, that is Laser Writings. And that in that laser writing, there is also few part of materia medica, and that few part of materia medica is related with remedies like ferrum arsenicum, remedy like nitrum silicatum, remedy like calcarea silicatum. So while narrating these remedies, and Dr. Kent has identified there is a less information about this specific fact. So James Tyler Kent has again shown in his lesser writings, while narrating about the new remedies like calcarea silicata, like nitrum silica, nitrum silicatum, like ferrum arsenicum, ferrum picricum. He has come across this difficulty that the basic information about these remedies are even very less. So what he has done in his laser writing, he has identified common groups or common theme of nitrum group. What is the common theme of nitrum group? We say elements from disappointment, aggravation from sun, desire for salt, and common feature of silica group is a suppuration. So while narrating about the nitrum silicatum, what he has done, he has combined these two features under the description of a new remedy, and he has said that nitrum silicatum will have elements from disappointment of love, along with at the physical level, these elements from grief will lead to the multiple abscesses, multiple boils. And this remedy is to be compared with Piperacillin Cilicia, but the main difference is that Piperacillin and Cilicia will be chilly, while this Mentrum silicatum will be more towards amithermal remedy. I think it has gone above from your head. But remember, there is a controversy about who has introduced about this James, who has introduced this group study method. Some say that it is J.H. Clark. J.H. Clark in the clinical repertory has emphasized on this group study method, and some say that James Tyler Kane, while narrating about the new remedies in the lesser writings, he has introduced about this group study methods. To forget about the controversy. For our safer purpose, we say that J.H. Clark and James Tyler Kane in the 18th century has initiated this method of group study method. And then later on, this method was popularized by modern masters in the homeopathy like Ian Scholten. Remember, it is not Jan Scholten, it is Ian Scholten, Otto Laser, and Rajan Shankaran. So today we will stop here about this group study method. So far about this group study method, we have studied why the necessity of this method is felt, the introduction of group study method, and who has introduced and popularized this group study